Hello and welcome to another episode of Time to Change. My name is Chasen Forehand. I'm the founder of HR for You Incorporated. And we are on a mission to remove the barriers that prevent people from finding living wage employment. Today, I have two great ladies with me that are partners. I have Neela Singh. She is the founder of Neela K Consulting. I also have Beverly Hathorn, the founder of Strategic HR Consultants. Here's a great round of applause. Yes. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you joining today. And today we're going to deep dive into engaging and pouring into people. Beverly, when we talk about engaging our people, engaging your teams, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
The first thing that comes to my mind, and thank you for that question, Chasen. The first thing that comes to my mind is that if we don't pour into people, people can't pour from an empty vessel. We most definitely have got to exhibit understanding, empathy. We've got to be interested in their personal and professional development. And we've got to build an environment where they can thrive and grow. One of my favorite taglines, it's mine, I made it up, is that an organization's culture is the soil in which all things grow. And so we've got to provide a nurturing and foster that soil, that environment, that culture, so that we can create a place where our people can grow. We've got to put them first. We've got to grow them. We've got to develop them, show interest in them, the empathy, the understanding, because they cannot pour from an empty vessel.
Bloom where you are.
Bloom where you are. Yes.
Yes, bravo. Bravo. Neela, I know you are just chomping at the bit to jump in here. So tell me, engaging and pouring into people, your thoughts?
For me, when I think about engaging and pouring into people, it means unlocking communication. And this is important, especially now where loyalty and safety is just non-existent. With all the recent layoffs and all the lip service that we're getting from leadership, it's just not working. And so we're seeing, and I had conversations with employees over the last 2 to 3 months. What are you looking for in your manager? What are you seeking from your manager? And most of them described a mentorship coach. They want to be visible. They want to be able to make decisions. They want to be able to lead, so to speak. And so we talk about leadership. What is leadership? It's not a title. It's really moving people forward to make them visible so they can make more money, make an impact, be in front of the client to understand how their work matters. It's not only a paycheck. It's not only an exchange of services, right? So I talk, and my husband tells me you need to pay attention to your face because you get a little bit too excited. So you need to stop and slow down.
Not really.
Not me. No, we need to build a trust. We need to have safety. We need to have respect. That's the only way this is going to work.
I 100%. I agree. Yes. Yeah.
That's
I'm right there with you, Neela. And I like that you talked about the mentoring portion, because when you're a leader, you must remember that not only are you being watched, but you're being imitated. So the way you respond to situations and the way you respond to the extreme and the negative, you're actually leading your team in that aspect as well. So when we are mentoring, we need to find our space, what we want to lead with, how I want my team to grow from watching me. Because like I said, when you're a leader, not only are you being watched, but you're going to be imitated.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Mm-hmm. There's a fantastic piece here, because just playing off what Neela said and what you just said, there's a real dynamic and a difference between a manager and a leader. There's a difference that we're really honing in on now that we see the impact of what's going on in the world today. And, what do you, in your mind, Neela, think about, hey, should everyone be a leader? Is everyone built to run teams? Is everyone equipped or can be taught to be equipped to be that perfect leader?
Everyone can be taught to be a leader, but you have to be really open minded. You have to be empathetic. You have to be able to put yourself in another person's shoes. And so when I talk to CEOs about how they view employees, they view them as a liability. They just see that person in front of them. They don't see the families behind them. They don't see the people who they take care of and that paycheck takes care of. And so, what we are trying to do at the clients that I work with, we're trying to show teams that you're here to give us a service. We're here to pay you a living wage, but you are also making an impact to your family. So, trying to really tie their purpose not only to the mission of the company, not only understanding what they're doing for clients, but also understanding what they're doing to impact their own personal lives. They don't think about that stuff often. And that stuff is important.
Ooh. Oh, yes, that is incredible because you're right on target. That this in this day and age, in the climate that we're in right now, if we don't have leaders that have high EQ, I saw a post recently, and Beverly, you're going to comment on this. I saw a post recently that said, you know what? I'd rather have more empathy and a higher EQ than IQ and all the money in the world because I will be a better leader and I will
Yes.
make more money in the long run because I'll have more successful teams and more successful companies, period. And it was something along those lines, but I'm sitting here going, that yes to 100% of that. So,
Yes, yes. Because it is all about the success of the team and the organization, and then the success of the leader. So when you're leading a team, you've been granted the privilege of having people to follow you when you're acting as a servant leader, there are certain personality traits you must exhibit. There are certain activities you must respond in certain ways. You've got to understand how to respond to disagreements. You've got to understand setbacks. Things don't always go as you plan. How
yep.
do you respond as a leader? If you fly all off the handle and, oh my God, this is horrible, your team is going to be like, yeah, this is horrible, So, but if you work in a manner that says, okay, that happened, that is not a good thing, but here's how we're going to handle it, and this is what we're going to do so that we can come out on top. Lead with the intention that there's always a way back. There's always a way back to center, back to the beginning, back to start, where we can refresh and go again. And to me, that speaks to what you just said about EQ. The way you handle things emotionally is very important.
Yeah.
Isn't it better to have the minds of 20 or 50 or 5,000 people versus to try to rely on the board of directors and you? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about diversity. And so I think, we're accustomed to the dinosaur age where they reward individualism in the workplace. But what about if we started rewarding teams, giving bonus to teams for achieving milestones? And that's a different way of thinking. Yes, you can be
Mhm.
really good at your job, but as a team, as a unit, that's different. That's magic. That's magic on
yeah,
another level.
amen to that.
Exactly. Because, they say if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with a team.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Neela, you hit it right on the head there. Yeah, exactly.
I love this. And I love I love the energy because you know what? We are talking about something that a lot of times in a social aspect is reviewed as a negative, but it really shouldn't be negative. It really should be positive. when we talk about engaging and pouring into people and the work that needs to be done to make these things happen, to be a servant leader, like you said, Beverly, it is incredible to me that some leaders view that as a pain and a strain. And as you said, Neela, it's that, oh, this is a liability. It really should be, like you said, Beverly, it should be a privilege.
Privilege.
It should be an honor. I get to
Mhm.
serve these people today. I get to show up and I get to shine and light a path and and lift people up. So, you know what? I want to spend the last 5 minutes or so that we have really honing in on how can you better engage your people. So it's a topic that we talk about a lot. It's out there, it's floating around in cyberspace. But really, let's talk about the nuts and bolts. So, Neela, start us out. What are some tips to help leaders really engage with their people?
So the first tip for me, and what really, really gets us going in the morning, is that one-on-one session that we have with the team. Like every morning at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., my Zoom camera comes on 5 minutes before. It's a 92% attendance rate. We don't talk about work. We talk about what they did with their families before. We talk about their lives, what they're going through, their health. What are they thinking? We talk about politics. We talk about things that are affecting them. And we talk about it in a way that's really collaborative because we all have different views. That's the beauty of the world, where we're supposed to use our words. We have words to conversate. We have words to communicate our feelings. Let's use it in a way that's collaborative. So that's for me the biggest way that I see that we can move people forward. Interacting with the clients has been a game changer for the team, because sitting with the clients, they're able to see how their wording, how their work impacts positively. So that's another thing. They're not hidden; they're visible, making them more visible. So those are the two things. We talk about disengagement a lot. We quiet quitting. They come up with these new terms. It costs billions of dollars every year to be a disengaged employee, but you cannot identify a disengaged employee until you are proactive about that conversation. So people need to be more proactive. That's the best way to solve problems.
Have the tough
Mhm.
conversations.
Mhm.
Have the
Mhm.
tough conversations. Beverly, a couple of things that you like to see and you suggest for engagement?
Well, I need to see again in the culture. I need to see things like psychological safety. I need to see that I've built a relationship with my employees where they can come to me and say, I know we just installed this new process, but it's not working, Bev. And I've been thinking, maybe we can do it this way. I want them to feel free to do that. I want them to bring their creativity and their innovation. But that starts with that relationship that I've built with my team where we're working together. I'm not a manager. I'm not managing things. I'm leading people. And I want us all to go together. So when we have that psychological safety, when we have that autonomy and that flexibility where I can get the best of my people, everything that they have to offer. But it starts with the culture. And once they feel ownership in what they do, we all know how you treat things that you own. So once they feel ownership in what they do and they feel open to talk, and even if there's disagreement, we can find solutions and we can vet it out, and we can brainstorm in those disagreements. So even if it's there, I want them to feel free to come in and bring their thoughts and their suggestions. Mm-hmm.
And I think that only inspires people around you to come up with better ideas. So
It
instead of
does.
just telling me, hey, this doesn't work, okay, well, let's talk about what will work. So
Mm-hmm.
let's talk about those things. So not only can we fix the problems that everybody's agreeing is a problem, but we also can come up with a better solution that everyone loves and everyone, as you said, owns. I have been the pleasure of being with Neela and Beverly today.
Yay!